What's up everyone, Z-Dub here, and thank you for stopping by and checking out my review of The Quarry, released on all major platforms including PC. This title comes to us from Supermassive, the same developers that brought us Until Dawn and the Dark Pictures Anthology series, so it's rooted in situational horror, and as a fan of summer camp horror movies, this piqued my interest, so I decided to give this one a shot and see if this particular style of game is for me or not, and more on that in a moment. Now, if this is your first time stopping by for one of my reviews, let me start by saying this. All of my game reviews are done from a critically honest perspective. I feel like you shouldn't have to force yourself or convince yourself to have fun with something. So if you're like me and you're looking for the best experiences out there, ones that are truly worthy of your time and money, you've come to the right place. So if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do so you don't miss out on any future videos, and hit that subscribe button and bell and you'll be up to date with all my content. Now let's get into this. The Quarry. Can an interactive movie actually qualify as a game? Can a game focus primarily on choosing characters' actions and directing dialogue be interesting and hold anyone's attention? Well, the premise of this is really interesting if you're looking for a passive narrative-based game, but honestly, I did find it quite boring. I did not play Until Dawn or the Dark Pictures Anthology, but I assume this is very similar, if not more of a refined experience, as I think that the developer would have built on their past success here. Now, when I first fired it up, I was really drawn in by the opening cinematic and the initial prologue. Now, when the game begins, you're instantly presented with two engaging characters and a decent setup that builds some mystery and intrigue. But as I played further, after about 30 minutes or so, it all felt to be moving way too slow for me. I know this is not supposed to be Resident Evil, but I felt it could have moved quite a bit quicker from the get-go. I gotta be honest, I was getting super bored and I was quickly losing interest. Now, the overall story, it can be engaging, and as a fan of these type of movies, I really wanted to enjoy this. I liked the cheesy horror camp idea and I was interested to see how it turned out, but again, it was moving way too slow, and the actual game mechanics of really just button pressing was way too far and few between. I felt as though the time between actual choices in the cutscenes was way too long. Sometimes the cutscenes would take 5 minutes between any interactivity. Aside from that, it took about 2 hours for anything interesting to even start happening after the prologue. So gameplay-wise, like I said, this is not a super video gamey experience in my opinion. It's primarily focused around quick-time events and directing dialogue. There's also a portion of the game that's done in third person, and those portions are mainly focused on exploration. Now, as I played, I was constantly questioning these exploration portions. I mean, you basically just walk around looking for collectibles or an interactive area to push the story forward. I really did not enjoy this at all. This was extremely boring to me as well, and it always felt like a chore. In my opinion, this game excelled more during the quick-time events inside the cutscenes and selecting the actual dialogue. All the moments when I had to control the character, I felt like I just wanted a waypoint of where I should head to get this part over with. There really isn't combat in these areas either, so to me the exploration felt extremely unnecessary. Granted, the graphics looked great during these portions of the game, but it was nothing that I was enjoying doing. So let's touch on the graphics for a moment. This footage captured here is on a 3080 with a newer i7, and everything for the most part looks really good. The lighting, animations, and textures, they all look great. There were some graphical issues I noticed here and there, but other than that I was having quite a bit of technical hiccups as well. I did experience a couple crashes, several freezes, and at times frame drops. I was very disappointed with that, as I expected this to run very well on my system with a 3080. I can't speak to the performance on console, maybe it's more optimized there, but it definitely has its issues on PC. The loading and hiccups I encountered were very frustrating, and there were several times the video would just freeze and the audio would continue, or the audio would be way out of sync with the graphics. So I'd have to say, this game is something you would play if you just want to sit down and watch something with limited interactivity. It felt like a step up from a Netflix interactive movie, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. When I sit down to play a game, I want to play a game. I want to do something, and this was not that. So for lasting appeal, if you're a fan of this type of game, I think there is some lasting appeal for you. It's mentioned there's 186 different game outcomes in this story. So if you really like this and the characters and everything that's here, there's a lot of replay for you. But like I said, for me, I would not want to sit through all this again. So in closing, is this for you? Well, if you're a fan of Until Dawn and the Dark Pictures Anthology, yes, I think you'll like this too. For anyone else that does not like that style of game, this is definitely not for you. So for my fun or not recommendation, This is a hard pass for me as I did not have fun with it. But like I said, if you're a fan of Supermassive's games, then you'll like it. But for everyone else, this may not be something you will enjoy. If you're curious if these type of games are for you, then maybe you want to give it a try. But remember, this is not Resident Evil or anything similar. So thanks for stopping by and watching, and if you enjoyed this and you're interested in honest reviews focusing on whether a game is purely fun or not, or whether a game will wow you, subscribe so you don't miss out on any future gaming content. Well, I gotta head out in search of another fun game to try, so I'll see you next time. This is Z-Dub out.